Good evening all from GKQ. Just muting the audio, failed on that press, try that one. Sorted. Right. First of all, I must apologise for my appalling lip sync. Normally, Windows updates don't affect my lip sync, but tonight I've really been hit. So just ignore the pictures, please, for now. But good to be on the net again. So far I have G0MJW, Mike, Colin G4KLB, John G7JTT, Brian GW4KAZ and Martin G4FKK in that order. So Mike, you'll be first. Good evening to the watchers and Paul, good to see you back again. We seem to have, what, about 8 signed in on the streamer and 28 watching in total, so that's good. Oh, and Rob. Okay, M0 DTS Portable is on the end of the list then. Excellent. News for this week. Activity weekend this weekend. 23 SEMs and 146 and down. All weekend. Please post on the forum if you're going to be out. I'm guilty of not posting on the forum yet. Going to be doing something slightly different. I'm going to go out with 10 gigs and 24 gigs doing some tests with Gareth, who's just joined us and goes on the end of the list. But activity weekend this weekend, so please give it a try. Don't forget, if you're active on 70 SEMs or 5.6 gigs, you can put the activity in the contest ladder. The following weekend, Dunstable Downs Rally. BATC will have a stand there, and be really pleased to see you if you're able to make it. Towards the end of June, ham radio is on in Friedrichshafen. BATC will also have a booth there, so if you're going, please let us know, and we'd love to see you. Lots doing. Right, let's go straight round to Mike. G0MJW and the BATC Net, G8GKQ.
Okay, well, I'm not necessarily audible yet. Hopefully I am. Might be too much audio, I don't know. Anyway, good evening everybody, and thank you, Dave. I didn't quite catch who was next, so hopefully you put that in the list before I finish. Anyway, I had a Windows update today, like Dave, but different. So you're seeing the picture out of my window up here in the shack. And what you can see is you can see through the window. Previously that was all full of water and condensation, and it's been replaced by a local company who did a really good job and not too expensive either. So anyone who lives locally, I'll tell you who that was and give you a recommendation. So Windows updates are not always a bad thing. What was I going to talk about today? I was going to talk about the amplifier that I've got for the low bands, and I've just about finished now. So I'll do that. And Benchcam has been moved. Now, one of the interesting features of Benchcam, and let me go to Polycom Cam first. Oh no, I need the other Polycom Cam. So let me stay on the Benchcam, but set it to the other camera. Down. There we go. Right, that is the Polycom view of the amplifier, and you'll note the amplifier is upside down with the heatsink on the bottom. Well, one of the advantages of the bench cam is to make a bench camera sensible. you have to invert the video because everything otherwise turns out upside down to the casual observer. That's assuming that you have the camera on the other side of the on the side of the bench that you're sitting opposite you. But it's inverted. Well, the amplifier's inverted, so both are inverted, which means it's the right way up. So that's fortunate. So what you can see is the latest version of the camera, of the amplifier. And I'm just going to give you a quick demonstration just to prove it works, and then talk a little bit about various trials and tribulations. So I will activate the PTT. You may see something change there, you may not. And then I'll turn on the signal generator, and you should see it going to the end stop. So that's actually it's only 250 watts because I've got it set rather sensitive, but there you go, 250 watts on 4 meters. And I'll have to go to another camera to show you what that means in practice, which is what I call the rover cam, which is not looking the right way, but here you go. There's the proof. There's more proof. There is the device in question. And here is the other camera, and something else I'm going to talk about later. So there we go. Working okay. I'll turn it off, and you should see the power go down. Oh no, you don't, because I'm on the wrong camera. So let me go back to the right camera. Sorry. Do that again. That's on. That's off. So that's doing the right sort of thing. But now going again to the shaky camera, or the rover camera. Here you can see a thing measuring the temperature of the heatsink, and I was testing that today and it's working now. But that is a very cheap thermistor. I was trying to use one of these fancy temperature probe devices. I'll just turn off the PTT. But it didn't really work very well. It turns out they're sensitive to RF, so warning really, don't do that. So let's go back and rearrange things. Sorry about this, takes a little bit of time. Put that camera looking down there. So the bench camera is now back in its place, and looking at the thing I was hoping to show you as well, which is the power supply. So this was a broken power supply. Let me just turn it up. So it's one of these Astron ones. This is what I was talking about, things being upside down. On eBay I managed to get this rather nice module, 24 volts, 300 watt module. I've now fitted that in the box because it fits in there quite nicely, and it produces, well, 24 volts, so just what I want. Of course the problem is the meters on that device were 0 to 25 amps and 0 to 15 volts. Well, I've swapped the meters over, so they're going to read now 0 to 15 amps and 0 to 25 volts, so that's fortunate. FN, for all those who are not initiated in Friedrichshafen, is the short way of not having to write all out of Friedrichshafen, because it does take quite a long time to write. So that's what FN is. And I'm not going, but if you are going, Dave, it might be possible to transfer some goods to somebody. I'm not talking about selling things, because I know you're not going to have a shop because of the Brexit customs issues, but it might be useful to transfer things, but maybe have a chat about that. Anyway, I've been on far too long, so I'm going to pass it around to Colin. Colin has trouble talking for long periods of time, so hopefully there won't be too much going on there, but just put up a test card and catch you on the next round. G0MJW.
Okay, thanks a lot, Mike. Yes, I do. It's thanks a lot, Mike. Okay, yes. Then I don't know what my lip sync will be like. I have also fallen foul of Windows updates, and not for that, but I had no video at all, no audio at all when I came up on SQ after foolishly doing the update just before transmission time. It had shuffled the inputs around a little bit, but anyway, that was quickly resolved. I could see on OBS that the VU meter wasn't moving at all, so there was a bit of a clue there. I'm not sure the lip sync at the minute. It's not 100%, but when I tested it 2 hours ago, this system's been running for 2 hours, and so anything could happen. So I don't know. I didn't hear now. You see, we are sporting the new on-air sign, which was a birthday gift, so I feel compelled to use it. I can't normally have it turned on because it's too bright for the camera. So, but with the window behind me and with lots of light, I get away with it. There we go. There we go. So what have we been doing? Putting platforms on the van and such. Like, I fancy a bit of portable operation myself. Hopefully we'll get Rob on before it gets dark, because obviously packing away in the dark is a bit of a nightmare. Shouldn't be too bad. I better not stay on too long so he gets a decent go. I've already seen some signals that he's put up to test it. Looked very impressive, I have to say. I shall be doing a little demo station at a fair, sort of country fair type of thing. It should have been this weekend, but was cancelled. Unfortunately, I cancelled the leave so that I'd have the leave for later, and omitted the fact that that there was an activity day, and I could have actually done the Saturday, but I'm working all weekend now, so it's a bit of a nuisance, really. I missed a trick there, really, but there we go. Anyway, that's it. Should be above the door. Yes, it should be above the door. Yes, well, it will be eventually. It's just in camera shot at the minute. It works just as well with it. It's got a pulsing thing as well. It will pulse, and it can be off, where it's equally effective in this particular mode. So there we are. So just a quickie then, what we've been doing. I don't think I've shown these on here. There's nothing particularly riveting. We'll go to shaky cam, I think. But I've done a couple of little boards. I haven't, but obviously John, who does all my PCBs. There we are. There's a 50 megs one. We've done several versions of these actually. This is the latest one. It also accommodates here's one I prepared earlier with the proper plug. I didn't have any more of these, so I've just used end launch ones. This type of pad layout is conducive to both types, you see. So you can either have them fitted properly, or you can use the end launch. It's absolutely fine. This one, the ground plane's on the top, and the circuit is underneath. And you can get the pinouts of the vary between the PIF and the PBP mini circuits devices, and so this board can do either. Because I happen to have some of these as well, which are the 70 megs versions. You could have just put coax, could have just soldered straight onto it, of course, but I just fancied a board, and we're going to do another one with actually we've actually got the things that you can solder them in, and you can actually plug them in and out. So little bit of a thing, but these are done for now because I've soldered them in and chopped them. So that's that. But there is another PCB on the way, and I think we've got the right sockets to actually make a plug-in version, which might be useful for other could be incorporated into a circuit at a later stage, perhaps. So, but they're so cheap to get PCBs made. Could have done it on Variboard, strictly speaking, but where's the fun in that, really? So anyway, there we are. That's one of the things I've been doing. The main other thing is filtering for SQ. I've got in touch with ID Electronic, and they can do me a interdigital filter, because they're quite cheap to buy, really, rather than sort of making everything. But because I mentioned that the notches that we want to we're having some trouble with the transmitter getting into the receiver. It's not terrible, but on the one that didn't have an extra filter, which was the 4 megasymbol receiver, there was a significant problem. I've put one on the Ryde, and that made a massive difference, which we've proven. But it's not there's still a tiny bit. You can still see when you put the transmitter on, and you observe that signal. You can see there's something on there. But it's a lot better than it was. But it needs more. We need to do more. So I'm swapping out all the cabling with this HD cable, triple screened coax for the receiver that feed the receivers. So I'm going to use some of that and other bits and pieces. But what they can do is they can move the notches, because normally you would just have a notch either side of the wanted signal. But they said they can move both notches down to the other end of the band, which is B1304 for us, and put them together, and thereby giving us a notch on that. That'll give us a bit extra as well, and hopefully, that will work. At the minute, the filter is before they get split to the 3 different receivers. So I'm trialing that at the moment to see, and it has made a difference already. So, but there's still a little bit more work to do on that. But that's what I expected, really. Right, that'll do for me, because we've got more exciting ones on there. I've lost the list. There we go. G7JTT to take it. G4KLB. I'll put the test code on just so you got ready, but have your finger on the.
Well, let's wait till I get confirmation of audio. It's a little bit weak tonight for some reason. Let's just turn it up a little bit more. Right, good evening all. Trust everyone's well. Couple of things this evening. One, well, in fact, most of the things are to do with Gareth actually, so many thanks to his heads up again. In those of us that like our little electronic gadgets and stuff, he pointed out to me that these things are available in Lidl's and other stores are available. They're £13, £12.99, and the little device is maybe there you go, it's got an error, but it gives you the angles. It says it's accurate to about 0.2 of a degree or so, but it only seems to be well, no, it could be, because it's 0.05 or 0.0 is what it has. But anyway, 13 quid, I thought that was quite good. But inside it, I don't know if anybody can identify it, that's the board. Now, the actual device is that little thing there, I believe. There's no markings on it, and I know it's an awful picture, sorry. It appears to be like a bit of gauze or something on top of it, wire gauze. So I don't know if anyone can identify what that's likely to be. I'm tempted to take it off the board and remotely mount it, but I don't know how successful I'd be with that. And knowing my luck, I'd probably end up popping it, so I may just leave it for a while. Anyway, the main thing to show tonight, which I just need to move some things out of the way so I don't knock stuff over, is going to be, I'm about to do this the wrong way. Am I doing it the wrong way? Yep. I don't know what it is. Come on. Is that thing. So, I've almost completed the optical portable stuff now. So this one, I think I've shown before, is a 6-inch mirror with just an LED in there, which is on a star heatsink. That's only a 3-watt LED, I think it is, or something like that, or Chinese 3-watt. And then that's the finningly with a 4-inch optical magnifying glass. It's glass as well as opposed to plastic. So this is the complete setup now. So this plastic, by the way, I was really cheeky. There were some guys doing some roadworks, and I've been looking for some 6-inch tube, and I had some. I cut them a bit off, so it's quite nice of them. So the actual lens is held in by a speaker grill, an old gas one that was knackered. And then this, I should show you that a little bit. This little bit inside there is all the mechanism which I showed you the other week, which wasn't quite working. Now it does work, so if I do that, you'll see it start to raise up. But the old idea of all this is that so there's power, that'll be volts on the display there with amps and stuff, and there's some more power on top for little pigtail type things. But the idea is that I'm going to use, thanks to Jim, I could see was on there earlier, who's been giving me some of these lithium batteries. That little thing there, as soon as the BMS and balancing ball turns up, will give me 12.6 volts at just over 20 amps. It's just incredible. So the idea is that all this will be on there, hence no leads to trip over. The other thing I've got to try and do is fit a phone holder on there so that we can operate from the phone as well, because the phone does the encoding and decoding for field help and Morse if I want to, and slow scan if I want to. So anyway, so there we go. So the whole thing's done now. The disc brake is working. I'll knock that off now. Apart from the, that's absolutely solid. You're not going to move that. But yeah, it's taken quite a while. I've got to tidy some bits up and just make it look nicer, but quite pleased with it. But that mechanism, go the route that the Gareth took, I think. It's a lot easier. Anyway, with that, I should pass it round to Brian, G7JTT in the group.
One, two, three, four. Hello.
Oh. Have I got audio actually?
I have. Excellent. It's a bit delayed though through the system, unfortunately. My apologies.
1, 2, 3.
Anyway, very good evening to you all. I'm trying to listen to myself on the VLC and things are quite delayed. My apologies for that. Anyway, good evening to you all. Nice to see you. Nice to be on the net. I've been trying to get on for quite a and It's only now that I find that my problem may be locally to me, because I'm receiving my... so I've been very confused because I've been able to get my video through the system, but audio was very bitty. But there we are. I'm with you, so that's great. The video's not too great. You know, in this castle of mine. Yeah, nice to see Mike, the system you're running there on 4 meters and the amplifier, etc. Absolutely. Everybody's doing some great stuff actually on the. It puts me into shame. And the same with you. I was interested in. I didn't hear properly what the problem was with the filters, but rather interested in that. And John, the job on the tripod there for your optical system was excellent as well. Very good indeed. I think John, GW3JGA, might be looking in as well, so if you are, John, very good evening to you. I'm using quite an old computer here actually. The 7 computer to do what this I don't know what it is, quite old anyway, but I use it for GB3TM and it works fine. Not so good on the satellite. Quite an old computer here actually. I'm probably shouldn't show you that I've been doing, which is quite a simple thing. I have a cross dipole antenna on 70 centimeters, which I transmit to the GB3TM repeater on 77 on 437. But I also use it for vertical for the so this machine, I just built it a facing system so I can add both vertical and horizontal polarization and make it circular. My apologies again for what I'm seeing is not a very good signal, and I'm sorry to that it wouldn't be better for me, but there we are. I won't hold it. I will be Dave and the group in about 5 minutes time, but I will be monitoring, and I certainly hope to get a better system going from now on, now that I realise. So I'm going to hold my hands up again. Unfortunately, I do not know who's next. So I hope that yeah, whoever is next takes it up. Thanks for letting me in. GW4KAZ.
Brilliant. Okay, Brian. GW4KAZ, G4FKK returning. Well, lovely to see you on the satellite, Brian. You had me fooled at first because I'm my main receiver here is a Winter Hill, and that doesn't seem to do DVBS. It's very good at DVBS too, but luckily I had another receiver going. So I thought, well, I can't stand up getting no picture, but I can hear Brian coming from a different speaker. Anyway, very good evening all, and say good to see you on, Brian. I'm hoping my lip sync might be okay. Let's have a quick butchers, because it's not too bad. I haven't updated this particular computer. It's waiting. It's very keen to do the Windows 10 update, but I did the old computer earlier, and I didn't lose audio or anything John, but I did lose my mouse and keyboard. And it wasn't very happy with Input Director. But after a couple of kicks, it went back into life. So I'll do this one a bit later on. I love your Windows update, Mike. I was thinking, who on earth likes a Windows update? But I can see what you mean now. So very good. The amp looks fabulous. And interesting about your temperature probe. Is that one of those DS18B20s? Because I've got one of those in my HF amp radio, which can run about 300 watts. I've not had any problems with frequencies of 30 megs and below. But I've got a drawer full of those if you want to try another one. And the power supply looks very good too. As you say, from where it came from, unlikely to have power factor correction. Very good. And Colin, good evening to you. I love the on-air light. I think you should keep it where it is, really. So we all know when you're on air. Oh, yeah. And the filter boards are looking very good. And John, your optical device there is looking very impressive. But it's far too high a frequency for the likes of me, HI. And I'll have to look out for one of those inclinometers at Lidule if we go there. Well, I'm doing a bit of TV amateur radio this week. I think probably a lot of you have met Tom ZR6TG on the satellite, and he's written a little gadget. See if I can find it. Oh, there we are. I better take it off my picture, otherwise it'll Oh, I better put it on there instead. I better take it off my picture, otherwise it'll start doing Doctor Who impressions. So I'll put it on the beacon for the time being. But basically, Tom's wrapped up several bits of software. Have I lost my audio now? I don't know what happened there. Did I lose my audio? No, I can't have done. So let's put it back on. I don't know why it's not tuning to the beacon. I'll tune it to someone else instead. Anyway, it wraps up, as you'll see. It's got Rob's quick tune there. It's got various other gadgets that Tom has put on. It operates by running Phil's new version or a modified version of Longmind on a Raspberry Pi. It will actually work on a Raspberry Pi 1 because I tried that a couple of days ago. Works very well. The theory is the reason Tom wrote it was he wanted to be able to watch his mini tuner on a tablet or his mobile phone when he's in bed. So that sounded like a good engineering design spec to me. At the moment, it works on PCs. I think he's got a version running on his tablet. But he's also got another version. This one works with direct addressing. He's also written a version which works with multicasting, but it doesn't work on my network, and it doesn't work on Brian's either, a G4EWZ, who wrote Winter Hill. In fact, me and Brian can't get Winter Hill to do multi-hubbing now either. So I don't know if anyone's an expert in I think I've got a problem with IGMP snooping on my network. I don't quite know why though. I used to know things like that. Where's screen one? Let's put screen one on and do that. So this is just a basic block diagram of Tom's stuff. So there's a mini tuner up here. Have I actually swapped that over? No. What a pillock. Yeah, so we have a mini tuner up here and a Raspberry Pi running the Phil's Longmin software here, plugged into the network, and then Tom's Longmin client anywhere on your network, or out of it, I guess. So anyway, I won't drone on about that. Tom might be watching. Oh, Benno, have you got? Benno says he's got the multicasting bit working. So well done, Benno. You're a better man than I, Gungadin. Right. Okay. There was something else I was going to mention to do with amateur television, but it's now escaped me completely. So I'll put it round to you, Rob. It won't be dark up there yet, will it? As Mike says, when you're that far up north, you can do the crossword till about midnight. Yeah, Mike, the thermistors are a lot cheaper, although I say I've got a drawer full of those DS ding-dong things. So, with that, round to you, Rob. M0DTS Portabule, G4FKK standing by with the group.
Well, fingers crossed here. Let's see if that works. Wow, it's working. Good evening, everybody. Yes. Hopefully we should be a little bit, how would you put it, more organised tonight, hopefully. We'll have to see. But, that's the arrangement this evening. It is pretty much the same setup as last time. I've just tweaked a few things. So there we go. I've got the other camera for now. Hang on, where's the other camera? Not that one, that one, that one. There we go. So, yeah, I've got the door slid shut there because it is almighty cold wind out there. It really is. So, not very warm at all. Hence I've got the jacket on as well. I think it's probably with wind chill, it's probably about 4 or 5 degrees. So, pretty cold. Right, comments first. Yeah, I like your new window, Mike. It's, you know, if you see out now, you probably get a bit more RF through it now as well. But then again, with the modern windows and the tinting on there, you don't get a lot through. It'd be nice to be in a loft, not that kind of Velux window there for operating microwave bands through and things. Okay, who's next? Colin. Yeah, them filters look quite nice. I've seen you mention them a few times. It'd be interesting to see how good the plots are on those. Whether it rejects everything enough. That'd be good. And yeah, you're next, Colin. We want to see you portable very soon. We'll see if you can get set up in about 8 minutes. Don't quote us on that, but it's not far off anyway. About 8 minutes to get set up, and about 3 or 4 minutes to chuck things on the bench. But then half an hour of faffing around with USBs and things like that to get it to work on the laptop here. So yeah, I suppose there's a bit of work to do there. John, your opticals looking really good. We'll have to do a bit of moon bounce or cloud bounce. Should be possible at some point, but we might get a chance at some point to work each other. You never know. GW4KZ, yeah, your video was okay. It was a little bit low frame rate, but I think that's usually the Express video encoder, the Express software, when you're doing H.265, I think it was. So yeah, that's it was a bit sluggish on the video, but the quality was quite good, so that was okay. And Martin, yeah, Tom's done a really good thing with that software. I don't know how he managed to decipher my code in QuickTune. It's rather, well, I'll just not comment on that basically. It does what it needs to do, that's all I'll say. Multicast can't really help you, probably dependent on your router for settings and things. But yeah, I can do multicast, I think, but not when it's bridged through another switch. I have another switch in line with the router. But one router which is near like where the no issues with the code. I'm amazed. That's amazing me. But anyway, I've got a bit better than it used to be, but a bit more to be desired. Forgotten where I was at now. Oh right, yeah, well, yeah. It just makes life a bit easier sometimes, Mike, with C#. Multicast routers, yeah, I've got one router and I've got a big switch everything's connected to, and it works through the router but sometimes not through the switch. There we go. Anyway, I'll give you a little pan round outside. You can see a few things, and then we will get back because I'm already having quite a long over here. I didn't make notes as who I was meant to pass to. Let's just double check before. Oh, it goes around to Gareth next. Okay. I'll just do a little pan around with the thing, and I'll do a bit of explanation. There is a heater mic, but it isn't switched on yet. I've not even bothered yet because I've got the door. Well, I've had the door open quite a bit. I haven't actually done that. But let me switch over, hopefully, to the camera audio. Aha, okay. Right, let's see if this works. So we're on the camcorder outside now. I'll move this round a bit. I'll show you the dish mount. Hopefully I'm far enough away from the dish. There we go. The thing I've added is, if I can zoom in far enough here, there's a dark cloud looming, but I think we'll be okay. What I've fitted on the dish, let's zoom into that top one there. It's the mounts for the dish basically. It looks a bit dirty unfortunately, but new little clip-in mounts are on the dish. So basically the larger bit is fixed on the bottom onto the dish itself, and then the smaller part actually just clicks in, and there's 3 ball bearings inside. And basically the tripod feed arrangement just clips in, so it saves a hell of a lot of time because I need to fold the dish down on the 2. Yeah, this is the one, and it's got the dual feed on there. There's a little tiny single LNB on the back and a patch feed. So that's the arrangement here, and about 40 watts or thereabouts. Haven't actually measured it yet, but it ties in with the current anyway. And that's the Dawson Dynamic mount on the top of the van, which is ex-BBC Vehicles, I believe. And then the controller for that is in there, which you can see. Oh, that's actually quite clear, that. See if I can get that to focus. I think it's going to, is it? I'll try again. Not quite. Anyway, there's azimuth elevation on there. I'll give you a little shot of inside the van, briefly. Here we go. See, that's the arrangement now. So I've got the laptop, I'll put the ports down in the big box, which is running there, which is receiving me. So OBS running on the laptop. The white, the lightest white is the unit is the 2.4 gig amp, and say the controller on the top there, which it's just not going to focus, is it? I'll show you that later on anyway. But, yeah, before it gets totally dark, I'll give you a shot of Farthingdales, RAF Farthingdales over here. Where are we at? Somewhere over there, I believe. There we go. It's not quite as light as it was earlier, but I should be able to see this if I can get it to. Alright, there we go. Well, there's a few lights on now. There we are. So that's RAF Farthingdales. I don't know what the distance is there. It's probably like 7 or 8 miles, something like that. it's not doing too bad to focus on that at that light level. That's shoving out megawatts of RF on 400 megs at the moment. That's quite cool. I'll just do a little pan around and then I'll hand it back. So yeah, it's quite an open location up here. We've done optical communications from up here before, right the way up to well up the north to Alnwick. Over here I've got scaling down. There's enough light for that still. It's coming through okay. And then up here, quite a bit out the coast. Kind of look up the coast here to sort of Hartlepool, Sunderland, probably up towards like Newcastle and that. So quite a nice spot really. Okay, right, I better drop carrier because there's more to come. Take you round to the beacon itself. Leave you on that. M0 DTS portable.
From G8GKQ. Okay, looks like I've fixed the lip sync, or got it closer anyway. Gareth is clearly indisposed. Really impressive setup there, Rob. Mega impressed with that, and the quick setup and set down looks really good. On the same theme, I will show you my current project. One of the issues I have when I go out portable is doing all the wiring and everything. So my current idea is to put 2 ports downs in one box. So you end up with one power supply, one set of speakers, one mic. The left-hand one there is a Portsdown 2020 running with a LimeNet Micro that is installed inside. You can probably just about see that in there. The right-hand one is going to be a Portsdown 4. Only the Raspberry Pi is installed in that. It's not even wired up to the screen yet, but the left-hand side does function, and I'm hoping to use that on the activity day at the weekend. So that's got speakers in it. Well, you can probably, if I put it like that, just see a speaker on the left and right panel. There's a linear regulator for the Portsdown 2020. Not sure whether that will survive testing. So the Portsdown 2020 will run band viewer or transmit, and the Portsdown 4 will be used for receive. So that's the idea, and the whole thing runs off of just 12 volts. I've got looped through power poles on the back for 12 volts. You can probably just see there. And I've started populating the slightly square, not quite square, but almost square holes in the back panel with the compulsory 25-way D types and so on. So that's been a lot of work, as you can imagine, but it's finally generating RF now, but there's still a lot more work to do. Okay, thanks for the compliment, Tom, and well done on your software. When I came back to your initial contact post about installing Logmin, sorry, I didn't realise you were trying to do something so clever. I'm really impressed with your software. Haven't tried it yet, but really pleased that you found Phil's development useful, and incorporating Rob's C# code is really good. That's one thing I can't get to grips with. I can only manage the plain C. I still haven't really got my head around total object orientation. But well done on the software, Tom. The other projects this week, a lot of BATC admin has been taking up my time, but sorting out things for Friedrichshafen and the like. Yes, we are going to Friedrichshafen, Mike. Not sure how much room we'll have, but I'll discuss that with you. Multicast. People have been talking about multicast UDP. Yes, you need IGM. Your switch needs to support IGMP, and some do, some don't. What I tend to do with, I've got a couple of things in the shack that run multicast. The LKV373 HDMI capture device. In fact, are we looking at a picture through one? No, we're not. The HDMI capture device outputs on multicast, and I tend to stuff them behind routers to keep them off my main network. In fact, the stream is running on one of those LKV373s, but behind a router. But it is troublesome. Brian, yeah, DVBS, yes. I'd really like to be able to get DATV Express to do DVBS2 from Raspberry Pi, but there is an issue I need to revisit. I might be able to solve it now. When I first looked at it, I didn't have a clue, but I've got some clues now. The 70 megs power amp, very impressive, Mike. Really good. Not sure how you're going to power it portable though. You need to take it up on top of the Ridgeway. John, marvellous light kit. I'm not haven't got the capacity to do light stuff as well. Right. With that, I'll put it over to Gareth. If you are ready, Gareth. What was the... Forgot to load virtual cam, ready now. Okay, let's go for Gareth, and then if you can pass it over to Mike, and we'll go round the loop again. G4X80 in the net, G8GKQ.
Right, evening all. Thank you, Dave. G8GKQ from G4X80. Yes, I'd forgotten to load up F1 EJP and a virtual cam, so when I clicked transmit, nothing happened. Long day out in Hove / Brighton visiting the mother-in-law, which is always a pleasant experience, fortunately. Quite a pleasant drive back actually, but I only got back at 5 to 8, which is far too much rushing for me. Okay, I like that repurposing of a bit of drain pipe, Mike. Excellent. Not Mike, John. Like I said, it's been a long day. So inspired by your optical antics, I acquired this. It's a condensing lens pair off some ancient old projector. Came off eBay, 15 quid. And I'm going to put the fat light behind that, I hope, and end up with a parallel beam. And of course the benefit of that is it'll fit, or very nearly fit, and can therefore be adapted by the wonders of a 3D printer into the end of some 110mm plastic waste. So there's that. I haven't done anything other than shine the light at it in the shack. I'm going to try it down the garden once a net, so now it's dark. Okay, 10 gig, yeah, I've finally been spurred into progress on 10 gigahertz. I haven't got any pictures to show, but it's basically a repurposed board from the magical Polish supplier with external power supply. One of the eBay DDS thingies, and a Pluto, and it transverts basically and does nearly 1 watt on 10 gig. So I've got to mount that up on the dish tomorrow, ready for Saturday. And also this little bag here, this is another wonders of the surplus world. This is a 24 gig 2 watt transverter and power supply board, courtesy of some Polish amateurs. So there's a very good chance I could actually get that together as well. Right, what else is on the list? Preamp, right, 10 gig preamp. Hang on, let's swap cameras. That'll do a better job of that. There we are. Okay, focus. Come on, you can do it. No, you can't do it. Well, anyway, that's an LNB robbed out of a DRO LNB. You can still see the DRO on there. It's got 2 devices in a sequence for the amplifier chain. And on Noel's advice, I've added a decoupling capacitor. Now, the interesting thing is the capacitor I removed between device 1 and 2 measured up as 220 PF. And I thought, oh, that's quite large. But the capacitor I removed from the DRO into the mixer measured as only 1 PF. So anyway, the 1 PF is doing the decoupling from the input SMA, and the 220 PF is doing the output coupling. I haven't tested it yet, so hopefully it works. It's still got all its right voltages on it. The right probe is powered when it's on 12 volts, so that saves messing. And about the only other thing is I was looking for a speaker, and this is a little Bluetooth giveaway. It's got a lithium polymer in it, and the main reason I took it a bit, I mean, it's not a lot of use. It sounds alright, but it's mono. And come on, you swab. I'm not going to oblige, are you? Yes, you are. Right. It makes quite a good bing bong when you switch it on. But you can see it's quite a small speaker, but it's got quite a big magnet. So I'm assuming, let's see. That's not bad sound there. I reckon that will do for my Portstone, the little portable one. So there we are. Right, apologies for the chaos. Thinking about tripods and so on. I've started dreaming up whether you could put a worm drive on the Tilt-O-Matic. So you turn another wheel and you can then rotate it with precision. That's on the thinking. So there we are. Right, okay, round to you, Mike. I'll talk about my Windows update next over, but I'm pleased you can see out the wonders of spring when you're languishing in your shack. And does the power needle go any further than 250 watts? Because it looks as though you've got a couple of MRF 300s in there. So I guess that'll swallow a few amps at 50 if you go further with that. But nice tidy job. The power supply you showed, is that an eBay mains device? I somehow thought it was a DC to DC up converter, but I don't think it is. There's somebody commented about power factor. It does go all the way to 400, excellent. Good, right, okay, round to you anyway, you can tell us more. M0, oh, Struth. like I said, long day. G0MJW from a somewhat addled G4X80. Over to you.
Thanks, Gareth. G0MJW. Hopefully a picture will appear in a moment. Not receiving it yet. There we go. Yeah, so been working in the cloud today really, but that is the view through the window. So yeah, it is working, and you can see a picture of me and my lack of hair, which is worrying. But so the thing I'm going to power it with is not the main power supply, but one of the ones that I've shown everyone before many times. But why not show them again? Because people still don't know. Ooh, dodgy pictures of various bits and pieces in the shack here. Oh dear, this will make you seasick. And then I go through and hit the wrong thing and get a whole load of HP stuff. These are the Valkyrie L-Tech power supplies. I've got two of them here, and I've got one up in Bolton. They give 50 volts at 2 kilowatts or 3 kilowatts in the case of another one. They'll certainly drive the amplifier, but they'll need a source to drive them from, and I think the answer to that will be a generator. Anyway, not a lot else to add really, but I can tell you about the amplifier. It is two MRF 300s. It's a standard design, and they do produce power, but the issue I had was the filter on the output, which when you put the filter on there, it worked fine on 4 meters, but it didn't work on 6. So I modified it to a different configuration of filter, and now it works on both bands. And it's a low pass filter, so it should have worked on 6. But the problem is with it at the moment is it only has a limited attenuation of 100 megahertz, the harmonic of 6 meters. So I need to put a trap in there to use it on 6 meters, but it will give 400 and 450 watts or so. Now there is no intention of running it at that power level. That's the CW power level, and it's not saturated at that level. But the power level that it will work at is about 100 watts or so, 100 to 200 watts, and that is what we need for 6 meter DVB-T. And possibly 4 meter DVB-T, but at again a lower level, because we're only allowed 100 watts ERP on 4 meters, and we're not allowed that level of power even on SSB. But linearity is the key there to stay within the band. So that's what it's for. It's in one of those surplus boxes that we all acquired, or some of us acquired anyway, recently, and it does the job. Okay, I'm not looking at the chat, so I'm sorry if I'm missing anything. No, that's good. Not a lot else to say, and I notice it's 9 o'clock already, so I think I should pass it straight on to Colin. So over to you, Colin, and hope to catch up with everyone next week. I do plan to try and get to Dunstable. I'm not going to Friedrichshafen, but I would have liked to have gone, but I didn't think I had the ability to get there, and now I do have the ability to get there. Of course, there are no hotel rooms free anymore, so I'm missing it for another year, but maybe next time. It's always a great show. If you're looking at going, definitely go there. Really good. And I've been to it quite a few times. The first time probably in the 1990s, and then the last time was about 4 years ago. So G4KLB, round to you. Just find a test card here. G0MJW.
Right, thanks a lot, Mike. Wait for that to... Right, there we go, that's it. Kill the sound, get rid of the test card. Okay, yes, well, I've never been to that particular show. Something I've wanted to do. There's a couple of ones I'd like to do. There's one in America as well, which is quite good. But never been to either of those at all, so there we are. Never mind. Yes, on those amplifiers with the twin MRF 300s, there is one there is one here that's got two of them in, so there's a space for the filter, which is currently under construction. There's the filter that we're having a go at there. So that's that side. I can't remember if I showed that or not before. In the same sort of enclosure as we're using. So that's just, I'm just getting it in there at the minute. So that's that. Different design to Mike's, but essentially the same thing. We'll do 4 and 6, but I've got separate ones as well, which aren't quite so excitable. Yes, that's it. Yeah, I've never been to any of those. Never been to any of those at all, unfortunately. But there we are. That's just what it is, really. So yeah, so those projects, they're sort of side projects that are doing as and when bits turn up. I haven't got time to do that other bit I was going to do. Let's leave that for now. But oh yeah, there's Mr. FFK back in the studio. Look, I see he was being retransmitted. I thought that was quite good. There we are, back in the studio. There's no escape, is there, really? But anyway, there we go. There's that one. And as for portable, well, I'm very impressed with Rob's new van. That's it looks like he's in an office, actually. It's impressive, very impressive. I've got this far. I've actually bolted the wood. In fact, if we go a little bit closer, we should see the lovely varnished piece of wood with rather nifty white PVC tape round for the edging, so it looks like it's part of the van, sort of. I usually just put a loose piece of wood on there and stand across those two roof bars to put the aerials on and this, that, and the other. But there is a mount at the back that will accommodate a dish. Using key clamp stuff that I've already got that together, but I've been spending a week varnishing the piece of wood. Yeah, so not quite in the same league. It's not got automatic things. You don't no, it wasn't there at Andover. It wasn't there. This is a recent addition. It's gone on. I bolted it on this week, so that's gone on there. That's to have a dish mount on there, and it also doubles the rest of the time for me to stand on to assemble all the aerials that go on the rotator, because I have to get up there, you see, to put the rotator on the top and all the masts and all the aerials and that sort of thing. They just plonk in the top on that. So I usually just have a piece of wood that was in danger of blowing away under certain conditions. I used to have to take it off the roof and stick it underneath when I was operating, because there was a danger of the piece of wood flying off. Not as big as that piece of wood either, but anyway, there we are. That's that. Other things I've been doing, I've spent 2 days trying to put the MacGuffin stuff on the wiki, and I've decided to rest for a bit. I spent 1 day doing stuff, ended up deleting it all. I couldn't quite get it to go at all. It's an acquired skill, but one that I don't seem to possess at the minute. But anyway, not to worry. That was in advance of today or this week. I decided I will try and get that CQTV article out, or at least get it sent to the BATC. And I think, well, it would be advantageous to have the information on the wiki that they can draw from, because my article probably won't be good enough. Yes, I've struggled a little bit to get. John, the designer, has done some excellent work, and I've got a layout of various bits that need links put in and this, that, and the other. But getting that to show up on the wiki in the same fashion has proved a bridge too far, really. I need to make new pages, and I got so far with it, but in the end I ended up deleting it all. I got into some hot water with trying to put certain files in, you only seem to get one go at it, and then if you want, I don't know where they live after that. It's all a bit of a mystery. Anyway, never mind about that. Yeah, that's it. That'll probably do for me, because it's getting late now. So I shall say 7 trees, and let me see. I may or may not have a go because I'll be on night shift next week, so we'll see. It might be just one go if I'm lucky. So we'll see. Okay then, 7 trees then. G4KLB.
Right, second time round. Couple of things I forgot to mention last time. Everyone's been saying about their Windows updates. Well, when I first came on this morning or this afternoon, I couldn't get nothing to talk. I couldn't ping between. I've got 2 networks. One's the Wi-Fi, which is the internet, and I've got a router that I use purely and simply for the port stand and TS streams between the laptop and everything else. Anyway, they just wouldn't talk. They were all seeing each other in the sense that the port stand had the correct address in it because they're all fixed IPs. The desktop, well, laptop rather, the same again. And when looking into it, for some reason, on the Windows laptop, it had changed from the usual thing of, auto attains in the IP4 setting to a fixed IP. 192.168.137.1. I never put that in there. I've no idea how it got it. It was working a few days ago when I was using it, but I did have an update a couple of days ago, so I don't know. But anyway, whether that was an update or not, I don't know. The worm drives, yes, Gareth. I have an old telescope mount I used to use years ago for bits and pieces. It's not very good, so yeah, a cheapo thing. But I've looked at the worm drive on that, and it's just the worm drive's fine, but the actual disc, the disc is just not big enough. I couldn't fit it in anywhere, so that's a shame. British Sharpen, yeah, I've been there once. I flew out with Robert, 2E0D00. We both flew out there. It was his first time flying, everything else. Anyway, we went out there and we camped. Giles MFJ drove out in his Winnebago, and I was sort of helping him on his stand, etc. Sorry about that. Anyway, we all 3 of us went out into the centre, and for those that know, you've got the lake and you've got the all along one side of the lake. There's just all these restaurants. We were sat there watching, eating our dinner, watching these storms over the mountains across the other side of the lake. And what we didn't realise was the thunderstorms were also coming in from behind us as well. So anyway, we got a taxi back to the campsite where Giles was. The taxi driver was able to drive straight up to his motorhome. We all got out at that point, and then me and Rob had to run to where our tents were. I had a little one-man tent, one of these, the sort of ones you lay down, and there's no sitting up in it or anything like that. And Rob, all he had was a cheap and cheerful sort of 4-man tent type thing. Anyway, by the time we got there, we were absolutely soaked. There was lightning hitting trees no more than maybe 200 metres away, something like that. And it was just incredible. Never seen a thunderstorm like it. Never want to see a thunderstorm like it again. Anyway, we got there, and this went on all through the night. Thankfully, my tent was fine. Literally, before I got in, I just stripped off, jumped in, and just dried myself off and put some clean clothes on and just weathered it out through the night. when I woke up in the morning, and this is terrible, really, but at the time it was so funny. Well, it wasn't funny, but I'm sure even Rob would not Rob, Pete, sorry. Peter Roberts was his name, sorry. Even he will laugh about it now, I'm sure. But basically what had happened was the wind had taken his fly sheet off. So the fly sheet just went miles away. And when I woke up, I looked out the window, or looked out the side of my little tent, and there was Pete sitting there holding on to the tent, you know, like when you got the poles bend over like that sort of thing, holding on like just shaking, shivering. It was so cold. And it was only like the little net bit that's on the inside. The fly sheet was nowhere to be found, and everything the poor soul owned was soaked through to the skin. So by the time we found his tent, the rest of it, and pegged all his stuff up to dry off, it was quite difficult not to laugh at the time. But yeah, so I've only ever been one. But yeah, fantastic place. Would love to go again. Just quickly, the other thing I forgot to show, and you'll see that the stuff's missing off the top now. That is now the other quick release seed, which can go in there. I won't push it all the way in, but go away in. That's what the transverters are going to go on top of. So the idea is you can just change these out. They're tapered, so it locks when it gets to the top, and at the bottom there it hits the end stop at the back there, wherever you can see. So that's that. And just sorry to repeat, just quickly for Bernie's benefit. That's the optical now, Bernie. So you've got the filling lead on one side, and you've got a 3-watt device there, which I still haven't figured out what to do with yet. Whether just to use it for lining or actually build a full-blown TX in there or not, I don't know. And for Gareth's benefit, we shouldn't really advertise, but these clamps with the bolts on the bottom of it, the cheapest place I found them is Screwfix. You get a pair of them for £2.76 or something. Everywhere else, they're £4 or £5 a piece. It's ridiculous. I don't know how or why they can do it so cheap, other than they get a rust at the first sign of any form of war or whatever. But anyway, so there we go. Ooh. So you can see the in the back there. You can see the mirror in there quite nicely. So there you go, and there's the LED. eBay job, he says probably about half a watt or so. Well, that is considerably brighter. So that's pretty much it. So with that, I should pass. Well, I don't know what it's going to now, because oh yeah, just quickly on that. That it's just a temporary arrangement until I can get hold of some decent alley or something. It was just a proof of concept. It may stay, it may not. It's actually remarkably solid, actually. But yeah, I've got plenty of cash PCB material kicking around, and of course that's an old speaker grill, one of the old metal backplate things, whatever, which you can fix nicely for the mirror. You can actually see the back of the mirror there. But it's a front surface one. I think we said it comes from a lighting type thing, whatever. But anyway, so there we go. Right, with that, I better pass it round to whoever's next. All right, so round to Martin anyway. Nothing else need to say on that. No. Not that I can see anything on there anyway. Right, round to Martin, G4 FKK, isn't it? G7J.
Yeah, okay, John. G7JTT, G4FKK. Well, what an interesting net. Amazes me what we can put stuff what use we can put stuff to that it's not really designed for. It's rather good. I hope, and good evening, Bernie. I hope you saw the rather marvellous engineering that John's accomplished there. And yeah, Rob, that van, well, it's a lot better than my shack, your van, so that's rather good. And yeah, I think you've explained the multicast problem I've got. I forgot. Nearly all my network now runs off a second switch. It's just a dumb one, but which I'd have thought would be okay, but I suspect that's what it is. I have had it working before, so my router can manage the IGMP, Dave. And I have got, as I was explaining to Tom at the weekend, I've got a VLAN, but at the moment it's only on Wi-Fi, and that's run by a thing called a MikroTik, and that does multicasting. But like you, I was trying to keep it away. It's all coming back now. I was trying to keep it away from the main network. Although the whole point of the VLAN was to siphon up a bit of QoS off, so that when my kids started watching 4K films and things, I didn't fall off the internet at the same time. And yeah, Rob, you've really thought that van through, haven't you? I bet there is a fridge in it. Mike was asking earlier if you've got a drinks cabinet in it. I bet you have. Sure, I saw a fridge in there when you were building it. The dual ports down, Dave's looking very impressive now. And for the activity weekend, I won't be going out. I haven't really organised anything portable yet. But if anyone wants to try 4 meters with your new dual MRF 300 amplificators, I can do a bit of 4 meters, and I'd be happy to try that. I know we've tried it before, I think, Mike, on DAT, on DVB-T, but we can just about hear each other on sideband, if I remember rightly. Unfortunately, I won't be at Dunstable. Unfortunately, we're going down to Bath to celebrate my wife's birthday with all the kids and lots of family coming down there. But it's on the same weekend as Dunstable, so yeah, I used to go to Dunstable Downs every year, Mike. It's one of the best rallies, I always thought. Gareth, good evening to you. I did the same thing with forgetting to turn on F1 EJP and the virtual camera when I was talking to Tom earlier. And I hope the 10 gigs goes well, and the 24 gigs as well. That'd be very impressive. So it'd be interesting to see what you and Dave get for doing that. Mike, well, I've just mentioned the 4 meters, haven't I? And yeah, well, funnily enough, Colin, I don't appear to be able to get away from studios. I was down in Cardiff last week visiting my boy. So I had a quick look at the studios that I'd worked on before security there decided that I didn't work there anymore, so asked me to leave. It's not the first time I've been thrown out of the BBC, I have to say. And yeah, you can't possibly clamber around on that beautifully varnished piece of wood. That looked lovely, that, with your great muddy hobnailed boots on. Perhaps you've got a rag or something to put over it. And John, well, I've never been that keen on camping, but you've just put me off it for life. I was talking to a friend of mine on 80 this morning, who got up at 6 o'clock and then went swimming in Crummock Water up in the Lake District. Mad. And he said his face got so cold it was painful, and when he got out he could only see out of one eye. So this outdoor activity is not my kind of thing at all. And well, I've no idea how you got that random fixed IP, John, either. That's as I say, I've not updated this PC yet, but I'll do that when we've finished here. 100 watts ERP, of course. Well, yes. I think you're allowed more than that on SSB. You're allowed 160 watts into your aerial, I believe. Could be wrong. And yeah, I wonder if you could do RF tracking for your dish when you're mobile, Rob. That'd be good. Right, RC73 everybody, thanks for running the net, Dave, and I shall look forward to seeing you all over the next few days and weeks. So back round to you, Rob, and see if you can see those lighthouses yet. So this is G4FKK signing from the net, but we'll be watching and passing transmission to M0 DTS Portable. Cheerio.
Yeah, how about that? That's working. Right. Yeah, apologies that the picture quality isn't particularly good there, but you can actually see some lighthouses. There's one quite close in on the left. But my bearings aren't very good at the moment. I'll have to look this up afterwards and try and figure out. But there's definitely a couple right at the right hand side you can see, and there's more than one there. I'm pretty sure there's one that looks to be in a slightly different location, maybe not. Anyway, you can see at least 2 lighthouses up there, so that's quite good. The camera's not doing too bad a job really, because it's not that dark. It looks darker than it is on the picture, but that's not too bad at all really. Right, come back to the other camera. Where are we? Not that one. That one. That one. With that. Yeah, it's much tidier. Much tidier in here than it is actually in the shack. It's pretty good. Much more organised anyway than at home. But yeah. Comments. Yeah, that your amp mic, that looks really, really good. I like the front panel. You put a good bit of effort into that. It's looking really smart, that. Good bit of control going on there and monitoring and everything. So I like that. Yeah, fine on your roof plate, Colin. Yeah, it looks pretty sturdy to stand on. What I need is, on the other van, on like the side door here, I used to have like just a peg halfway up sort of height that I can stand on to climb to like access and work on things on the roof. I can kind of like stand on this peg. It gets us up another like 2 or 3 feet, so I can like tighten up the dish on the mount and things like that. But I haven't fitted it in this one yet, so it's very difficult doing things on the roof, access to it and things. So I need a couple of pegs up the side of the door here built in that I can use. I don't really need a roof ladder to climb on the roof and that, because I do everything with the tilt over pole for the mast that attaches to the roof bars, and then of course the mount on the roof that's all automated. Well, not automated, but it's all controllable anyway. So what I do is park with the dish facing forward, which isn't ideal, I know, but that's the only place I could put it. I'll lift it up a bit from 0, spin it round 180 so it's facing down out of the back of the van, and then I can work on it and clip the feed on the front and sort of organise the cables a bit, shut the back door, leave with a bit of slack on the cables, and I can just wind it up and then point it roughly towards the direction of the satellite, which totally confused us here because I was further round than I thought. And then to get the dish lined up for elevation, because I don't have a sensor, I have to zero it every time. It's got readings on there, but it's not calibrated as such. You have to go below 0 degrees to park it and things like that. But it does count the pulses, and once you've calibrated it, it's fine. But to detect 0 degrees, I use the ground noise So I'll point the dish up and then move it up and down watching band viewer, and you can see like 4 or 5 dB of ground noise, like the spectrum level shifts up and down. So you can kind of like just find the ground and then just beam up just a touch, a few degrees, zero the elevation, then wind it up to about 20, which is roughly where the satellite is, and then all you have to do is just spin azimuth, and eventually you'll see the beacon come up on band viewer. So that's how I line it up from a start. So that seems to work quite well. And of course, with ports down now, I've got band viewer in there. I should get the other camera because I can't move the webcam, so just stand by. I'll go and get the other one. I'll see if there's anything else interesting while I'm out there. Oh, it's gone even darker now. Right, I'll go and have a look just in case. I don't know whether it's noisy out there with cloud and that. Now there's a lot of wind turbines out here. If I zoom in some more, you see all those red lights? Maybe you can. There's a lot of wind turbines there. Can you see them? Yeah, I think you can see them. Yeah, there's loads of wind turbines out on the coast there, so we can see. I don't think there's anything else thing to look at. Bring you back round to yeah, but it's just go right away and then see if that comes out. Right at the top of the beacon there. But, you'll be able to see inside the van a bit there. Just bring this over. See if I can get this to stand right. There we go. We're lit up now. You can see the difference in light versus inside the van and out now. But anyway, let's take this camera off to a better camera. I'm actually on 10 metres worth of HDMI tonight, guys. Sorry for the camera orientation. Right, just to bring this in and the door shut because it is freezing. I'll put the heater on. Right, I'll turn that one off and just get one audio. That was probably quite annoying for you. Check the chat, just make sure you're full size. I don't think it's a full size mic, but you never know. Right, I've got the Eagle Eye camera up on the top there, a beautiful little mountain. So the camera's set up there. That's looking quite good. I'll lean back on the seat here, and you can see the setup there. So yeah, that's the only addition. Well, there's that addition plus another one yet for the volume on the speaker there. Well, that addition. That's working lovely. Yeah, you can see the. Oh, there you go. I didn't show that last week. So the power reading is not particularly accurate. I'm probably losing about 2 dB down to the dish anyway. Or a dB or 2. And of course that's on there. So yeah, the only addition I've put inside the ports down is a little RF splitter. I don't know how well that's coming through actually. It's very over-engineered in a nice little aluminium box, but doing the trick. So I've got the LNB comes in, splits and loops back out, and then goes into the mini tuner, which is inside there, and then the other one goes round and then onto the line receiver, so I can switch to and from band viewer quite easily. The other box that I'm making, which is sort of like it's about 2/3 of that box, is going to have the 5-inch screen on it. It'll also have the air spy for doing band viewer on that one as well, separately to this, which runs the receiver really well on what's on 4. So that's okay. The guys on 750 here at the moment. They're coming through okay. A bit of local chat at the same time. So yeah, that's the situation. Let's turn that one around. Alright, I'll switch back to the other camera. You can hear CW. Switch back to the other camera. I don't know where the CW is coming from. Interesting. Right. Turn that one off. And back to that. There's a couple of images here. There's that one. Right. So yeah, there was originally a radar station here. It's quite a good spot. See whether we can see whether that comes through okay. Yeah, you can probably just about read that. But, first enemy aircraft fell here and was, well, not fell here, but was detected here. Well, that's quite interesting. And that was right on, well, just about 300 or 400 yards from this location there was the big masts, and I got some pictures. Might be a window wiper. Ah, the clunk, clunk is the heater. I've put the heater on now, so it could be something to do with that. Getting in on the audio. And there's also a noisy fan on the back of the power supply, I've just noticed. So, yeah, that's the thumping noise is the heater. The solenoid pump on there. Right, the thumping stopped now because I've shut the door, so the heater's dropped itself off. It's warm enough now. So yeah, so there's a little bit of history on this site. It's quite interesting. No, that would be a faster beat, that one, Martin. Far quicker. Images. That's what we use that bit for. Got the sound bar up here, and it really does sound sounds quite good. When I'm using Zello on the activity days, I use the audio coming out of the soundbar, and it works a treat. You can hear it so much better than using it on the phone. That's really good. But there we are. Right. Let's just come back to camera and say good night to everybody. I may come back on again in a minute. I don't know, but we better pass it round to Dave and get the net finished. And yeah, so next week I'm just trying to figure out when I finish next. I finish on Wednesday next week. Yeah, so I may do another portable outing next week. So it looks like it's going to be really, well, it's going to be better weather anyway. And Saturday actually looks very good weather for portable. So yeah, I am going to be out on Saturday, working Sunday. So it's just Saturday only. Be somewhere on the moors. I'll have 2 meters and 23 sems. Possibly 4 meters when I'm out, so we'll see how that goes. It doesn't look like the trot bow is going to be very good because it's going to be quite a hot day. So it might be really good first thing, maybe 6, 7, 8 in the morning, but by the time I get out, it'll probably be no good. So it might be a bit of a letdown. I'm going out anyway. Should be nice. And yeah, I'll try and find somewhere else to go next week. I don't know where that's going to be. Check Zello for me. Okay. Right. Okie dokie, round to you, Dave. I think anyway. GKQ M0 DTS portable on the North Yorkshire Moors, Danby Beacon. M0 DTS portable. Round to you, Dave. Oh, sorry. Round to you. Gareth. Apologies.
Right, no worries. From G4XAT. Thank you, Rob. From our northern correspondent, eh? It's a great shame there's nowhere around here with such pleasing scenery. There we are. Okay. As for cold water swimming, well, back in 2000, that's it, 22 years ago, I was part of a channel swimming team. It seemed like a good idea at the time. and we got used to cold water, but once we'd made the attempt, I have to say I've never been back in cold water again. I didn't find it particularly pleasant, but you do get used to it. My sister swims in the Thames when it's not full of things unmentionable and excess rainwater and so on. Right, okay. I was using my laptop today whilst writing something up, and I spotted the check for a Windows 11 upgrade, and it turns out it's not compatible. Now this is a 7th generation i7, so it's probably only 3 or 4 years old, but it's not compatible. Something about the processor isn't, and it's a 2.9 gig processor, so whatever, doesn't matter, it's quite fine as it is. No, we didn't, Martin. My bit was alright. Somebody else's bit, who'd swum previously fine, only managed 300 yards in an hour, and then a fairly serious squall came upon us, which in all honesty the boatman probably knew full well was going to happen, but he got his money for taking us out there, and we didn't get to do it. Whatever. Interesting. Like I said, it seemed like a good idea at the time. It certainly was an interesting experience. Colin, if you're still on, or if anybody's got a cheap source of those rather nice round SMA 6 or 8 or 10 way relays, I bought one a while back and it was only 60 quid. It came from Greece and it arrived the next day. I was amazed. But I chose BATC at the time. I don't think that's the best choice these days for the gear I've now got. But I could do with a 6-way one, so even if I've got 6 aerials up, which is feasible on a good day, I've only got one lead coming out and I can select what goes where. $5. Gosh. Yeah. Ah, well. Okay. Well, another interesting net. I must get my radio truck MOT'd and ready for the summer contest as well. Quick question on that. If you stay put in one site but other stations rove, do you still get the points from working them a second time? Or do they only get the second points, I wonder? You can see where I'm thinking here, perhaps. Okay, right, glad the heater works. I often wondered about those diesel heaters. Yeah, we do, right, okay, good. How good they are, but if it shut off not long after you shut the door, it must be very good. Excellent. I've seen people heat their garages with them, but of course, given the price of diesel these days, even the red stuff is expensive, even if you can get your hands on it. And you can't help but wonder if propane is not cheaper, but then propane has matched the price of LPG from a petrol station with remarkable similarity, just the same as chip oil matches the price of diesel per litre. And I know that because we had an old diesel Citroen we got given once, and I ran it on chip oil for a laugh. It was good. It was a bit smoother to drive, and it smelled great. You always came home hungry. Right, okay. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that Windows have nobbled something. Never mind, it just means I'll keep running XP on it, or Windows 95 or whatever it was back in the day. Okay, good net. See you all next time, and hopefully we'll have a good day on Saturday with these gigahertz stuff. And work some DX, such as it may be. And I'll see you Wednesday morning, Martin, I hope. That's all going according to plan at the moment. So you'll have something to play with there. Right, okay. Finally, G8GKQ to take it from G4XAT in the BATC Thursday evening net.
G4XAT in the net, G8GKQ. Yep. Windows 11 updates. Yeah, my laptop is, I think, compatible, but it's claiming not to be because I disabled something in the BIOS to allow virtual machines to run. So anyway, stick with Windows 10 for now. That works pretty well. Gareth, the input capacitor of one puff should not be an issue on that LNB. That seems to work fine on a couple that I've played with. So look forward to seeing if that works tomorrow. I do have the ability, should you need it, to measure noise figure fairly accurately. Yeah, good, not good type accurately at 10 gigs. So in due course, if you want that, I can do that for you. I think that's about all the comments. Been another really interesting net. I think the highlights have been Rob's portable vehicle and John's optical kit, looking really good both. So look forward to working some of you over the weekend, in the activity weekend, and if not, see you next Thursday or at Dunstable the following Sunday. So good night all. G8GKQ closing the BATC net and leaving the frequency clear. Cheers.